Hello there you guys, Crystal here. Welcome on into our next town tour. I've lost track of how many we've done. I think this is like the third or fourth one maybe. Either way, welcome on in everyone. If you guys are not aware, my current theme for my town is a Stardew Valley theme, and it was a lot of fun to do. I had so much help from my community in general. If you see any designs that you like in this town tour, assume I didn't make it. I think 95% of them are from someone else, so I will have all of those listed down below if you'd like to see, including all of our other information that I usually have listed, like villagers and town tune and stuff like that. So shall we go ahead and get started? So first and foremost, I had a whole bunch of people message me all at once that I have to use this path. Someone, I think rather recently, has made this Stardew Valley path. Again, not mine. All, respect to the person who made it, because this is amazing. And it fits in really, really well. I was using just the standard, dirt variant of the path. And this just fits so much better, so I swapped it actually earlier this morning. Believe it or not, it's like the very last minute addition to this town. Other than that, this sign is something glorious. Aiden has been helping me out with a whole bunch of different Stardew designs on streams, and one of the ones that we were kind of joking about, but they actually ended up making, was a Junimo, a blue one, sitting on top of a Stardew sign, holding up a blue chicken which was eating a star drop, and I didn't think they'd actually go through with it, and they did, and it's gorgeous. So I wanted to make sure it was right in the intro here. But if you head up this way, Resident Services is kind of meant to represent our community center. Now, once again, we can't move Resident Services, so it's kind of awkward. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but, there's only so much you can do. So over here, we have that little seating area where you might see, I think Maru and Penny both like to sit there in game. And then over this way, there's that little fencing area to the right, or sorry, to the left, I guess. And there's also the little playground that you might see Penny visiting with Vincent and Jess. And then just below that, of course, we have the fountain area. You tend to see, who is it? I think Demetrius and Haley a lot here, if I'm remembering correctly, in-game. I'm gonna somewhere have screenshots so you guys can kind of see the areas and see how they kind of match up with my in-game representation, and hopefully it looks decent. My goal with this town pretty much was to have someone be able to come over and visit and be like, oh hey, wait a minute, I recognize where this is from, without being told, and I kind of hope I hit that somewhat, maybe. Anyways, when we head over here, we are heading into town. We have I think Rod and Ed's house right over here. They are meant to be, I think, what is it, Jody? And then there's also Haley and Emily's house. And again, you might notice the houses aren't really lined up. That's because the ones in Stardew also aren't really lined up. I found out working on this town that Stardew is very not symmetrical, and that is really different from how I usually sort out my town. So it's been a fun challenge to sort through that. Oh, there's Walt. I was at one point trying to have farm-based animals in town, and that kind of went out the window really quick. I might still change them up in the future, but for the time being, I'm not too fussed. Down here, we have the sewer, which leads into Krobus's little area. You also have a star drop, so I have a couple of those hidden around town, and maybe I should actually mention that now. I have, oh god, I think it's close to 50 Junimo sprites hidden all over town, different colors. Oh, well, thank you. 50 different, give or take, 50 different Junimo sprites, different colors hidden around town. Some of them might be easier to spot than others. You'll probably see a couple of them when I'm walking around, but if you guys would like to come and visit the dream address yourself and see if you can find them all, that'd be awesome if you feel like it. If not, it's cool, I get it. But yeah, we have the graveyard in here, which is where I think we mainly see Abigail hang out, to be honest. Bob's house happens to be where Mayor Lewis's house is. We also have this wanted sign for Brofina, which is a side story all in of itself. But this is meant to represent the newer bulletin board, which is added in the 1.5 update, which I absolutely love, by the way. If you come down here, we have the bridge going down, and this is Julian's house. Julian is kind of where, obviously not exactly, but somewhat where Elliot's house is, down on the beach. And then if we go back over this way, I can see we have a balloon. But we have our museum right where it would be as well. And then down here, because I didn't really have much room for a river plus this, I do have the ice cream stall, which is where Alex works during the summer. I tend to buy a lot of ice cream there for Demetrius because that's usually how I end up befriending him. If you go up this way, we have, this is actually Walt's house. Now, Walt was an accidental move-in. I didn't mean to have him, but it worked out really well because this is meant to represent Clint's place, and I think just like the structure and the look of his house fits really well. You might also notice to the right-hand side here, there's some train tracks and then one of the new green pipe items. I'm using those as my minecart system, actually. Obviously, you can't select where you go with these if you have more than two. But it works pretty well, it's pretty cool. I guess I'll show you guys later. For the time being, though, this is that little fenced-in tree area behind Clint's place, and then unfortunately, up here, this is meant to be where Joja is, and Maddie kind of got put up there. I have nothing against Maddie, she's lovely, it just kind of happened. This is Agnes's place, she's kind of representing the Molnars, so George and Evelyn. Down below, we of course have Brofina, who is a little bit... She's an interesting character, so we kind of made her into Pam. And then we have the little dog enclosure, who is apparently eating better than I am, to be honest. If we go around this way, though, we do have Nook's Cranny, which is meant to be Pierre's store. We have the Able Sisters, which is meant to be the saloon. If they ever add in a bar, oh my goodness, the Roost, into this, I would use that to represent the bar or the saloon from Stardew, but of course that hasn't been added yet, so I don't know, maybe it will be. Also, happy 1 year, slightly late, but happy 1 year anniversary to ACNH, that happened just the other day. If we go up this way though, this leads up into more of a mountainous area. We have what would be Robin's house. This is actually Fauna. You have Maru's telescope over in her yard and everything. I'm really quite fond of this area. I kind of want to spread flowers everywhere and make it a little bit more overrun than I usually would make my town, so I'm quite happy that we managed to do that. Oh, Fauna, you're either a little bit early or a little bit late, depending on how you look at it. This is one of the little islands that you can fish off of in the game. And then if we go up here, this leads up to what would be Linus's tent. This is, of course, our campsite. And I'm pretty happy. It looks a lot better when there's actually a camper. And I kind of want to wait to do the town tour for when we would have a camper in, but I could have also scanned in an amiibo card now that I think about it. That would have been a good idea. Well, it's okay. Here we have the mines minecart track. And the mines themselves. Right next door we have Boots, he's still here. He's one of my favorites, and he is representing the Adventurers Guild right now. You might also notice, once again, this is courtesy of Aiden, we have some spring forageables around town, and I really like it because I could swap them out for, like, you know, summer, fall, or winter, depending on the season, which I think is really neat. I did want to do a quarry over here, but I just didn't think I had enough room to really represent it. So I just didn't. Unfortunately, I wish that I don't know, I feel like some of these areas are maybe a little bit too wide, a little bit too big, so I didn't find room for a lot of stuff. But I'm pretty happy with it overall. This is also meant to represent one of the warp totems that are scattered around Stardew. And then if we go up this way, this actually leads to the bathhouse area, which is right over here. We also have the train and the train station, which is in the middle of going through town, I guess, right now. And this was a huge project. I think this took me like a couple streams to do. And I had so much help from the people in chat during that time. So if you guys were there for that, thank you so very much. Even if you were just lurking, it really does mean the world to me. If we go over this way, I decided to throw in an extra fountain here, just because this is where the fountain next to resident services would have been. I wasn't really sure what else to do with that area. It was kind of awkward. If we go over this way, though, this is, again, very out of place map-wise, but I think hopefully we captured the essence of the area decently. This is meant to be the forest. To the left-hand side of Marnie's house, if you know where I'm talking about, there is this pond or this lake with a pier going in, and you kind of have a moment with Shane here. I think a couple different times. There's also the traveling merchant here with her, it's meant to be a pig. I couldn't find anything else to really represent the pig, but I'm pretty happy with it. It seems funny. Also, I'm not going to actually show you guys, but if you guys were to take a look around in here, if you visit the dream address, you may or may not find a bear who may or may not be asking for some maple syrup. Just saying. Just saying. If we head back down this way, though, we actually come out on the other hand, or I should say on the left-hand side of Piers or Nook's Cranny. I use this to kind of represent the bulletin board. It's kind of on the wrong side, and I'm too lazy to change it, so we're just gonna pretend that's on the right side. If we go over this way, though, this is our divide between our farm, which is this way, and of course Pelican Town, which is this way. But if we go up this way, this leads up to our bus stop and another minecart track. The bus... I've had some issues with it. Let's put it that way. There was a bus item in New Leaf that would have worked so well for Stardew. And here I'm showing the minecart tracks, of course. But unfortunately, it's not in New Horizons, so I obviously couldn't do it. But yeah, this is how the minecarts work. I wish you could, like, select where to go, but I don't know how they do that unless you, like, had to number them, maybe? But... Oh. I didn't know you could do that. Well, the more you know. That's kind of cool. There we go. But yeah, if you follow the road with the bus into the I guess more mountainous area here, you'll kind of start to see some palm trees, and we can enter the desert. This is one of the merchants in the desert, and then back here, of course, you have the pillars and a prismatic shard in the center, just waiting for your galaxy sword. This was going to be a casino or Sandy's shop, and I kept putting it off, and I realized at the end of the day, I don't have a good idea for it, so I'm just not gonna do it. Maybe in the future I will, but right now I just don't think it's gonna happen. And up here, this is our skull cavern, so of course we have the skull radio outside. I kind of wish I had a different song playing, but I didn't have the one that I wanted, so... I'm pretty happy with this area. Overall, it's very different than what I've ever done before. I've never done an area that's, like, covered in that much sand, I don't think, so... and then, of course, right back here, this is our little farm. We're growing some pumpkins, very out of season, but it's alright, don't worry about it. If they ever add in any more, like, growable stuff, I'm gonna be so happy. This is our shipping bin, of course, over here. We have our little house. I would show you guys my house, but it's identical to the last time you saw it. I don't really change a lot in there, to be honest. And it is definitely not Stardew themed in the slightest. We have our horse stable. We also have our puppy back here with his little food bowl. We have our mushroom cave, of course. And you may notice we have a couple escaped ducks. You may have already seen some around town. We may or may not have a hole in our fence. Our fences may have degraded. This is our greenhouse. You can see vaguely I have a whole bunch of different fruits in there. I know it's a little bit harder to see, unfortunately. And then here is our fence that needs to be repaired, and a whole bunch of ducks, some of whom have stayed, some of whom have definitely left. This one over here has seen some stuff, obviously. And yeah, that is pretty much my town at the moment. I'm pretty happy with it. I really wish, and I know I said it for the Story of Seasons theme as well, I really wish I could just move resident services. That's like the biggest thing. Not even the rivers bother me this much. Resident services, though, let me move it. Please let me move it. And then, you know, I could do so much more with my various themes, but that's okay. It's, you know, there's only so much you can do, right? But yeah, that is pretty much Lilybelle at the moment, you guys. This was kind of a huge group effort with myself and people over Twitch chat, just people joining in and being like, oh, hey, that looks really good, and encouraging me to do it, or people actually being like, hey, you know, I found this design, maybe you should use this, or, you know, why don't you try doing this? So it was really, really great to see. I thank you guys so very much for that, as well as people in YouTube comments as well, people who would comment on the streams after I upload them, being like, hey, you know, why don't you think about doing something like this? So, yeah, thank you guys so very much for watching, though. I really hope you enjoyed it. My next theme for Lilybelle, I won't be starting on it for a little while, but I will be doing it eventually, is going to be an Animal Crossing GameCube theme. And I have so many ideas for that, so I'm really, really excited. I'm not sure if I'm going to try recreating my original GameCube town, or if I'm just going to do like a generalized GameCube town, but we're going to have to see. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you guys so very much for watching, though. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw here today, feel free to drop a sub or, you know, like the video, whatever you feel like doing, leave a comment, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, I think I should probably say the thing, shouldn't I? I don't really say it that often. This has been Simply Press Start, where gaming is as simple, I'm stuttering, as pressing start. Thank you guys so much for watching.